Hey my man, this is what you died for. Hello YouTube, my name's Renoe, and today we celebrate a new beginning, a turning point in the holy war against evil and greedy publishers everywhere. Today, the gaming community finally sees a light at the end of the seemingly endless darkness. Strangely, this light has come from the unlikeliest of places. Bungie, the progenitors of Halo and once the gaming community's golden boy, then thought presumed lost to the clutches of the embodiment of evil itself, Activision, have once again raised a torch to lead the gaming community to a seemingly bright future by not only cutting ties with Activision, but also managing to retain the rights to their flagship IP, Destiny 2. Some gaming channels on YouTube are currently celebrating this iconic split like it's the second coming of Banjo-Kazooie, #forever waiting, while others are preaching caution, warning gamers to see if Bungie proves to be a messiah before throwing their cash at the company. Personally, I'm ecstatic about the split. I primarily game on the PlayStation, but I still recall going over to my friend's house as a kid to play Halo. The story, world, shooting mechanics, and music were decades beyond its peers. I always wished the Halo franchise was multi-platform, so you could imagine my excitement when Destiny 1 was advertised. I didn't care that Bungie had just hooked up with Satan. All I cared about was the fact that one of the greatest developers in the world, the makers of the Halo franchise, would finally be releasing a game I could play on the PS4. When the first trailers came out, oh my god, the scale of the world, the promised story, beautiful weapons, the haunting music, dear lordy me, shut up and take my money, Bungie. So staunch was my belief in this company that I broke the Jim Sterling rule, which I have always subscribed to, and pre-ordered the game. I waited in line to get my copy on release day. I went home, popped that baby in my PS4, watched every second of the hour-long installation period, and left the game barely 20 hours later, feeling hollow and empty. Was this it? Where was the sprawling Odyssey-like stories that made Halo so sweet? Why did my goal sound like someone had rudely woken it up in the middle of the night and forced it to read his lines? Where was the payoff? Destiny 1 made me feel empty inside, and while I did get a bit of enjoyment in the Crucible and raids, I just wasn't drawn into the game anymore. Then Destiny 2 came out. Destiny 2 is the reason I do not have any Destiny footage playing in this video. I didn't give in to the hype this time. I waited for the reviews, and when the reviews finally arrived, boy did I realize just how much shit Destiny had descended to. Formerly free items were locked behind paywalls, players were forced to go to the Eververse to progress, all the good stuff were kept in the Eververse, and each update seemed to focus primarily on the Eververse first, and gameplay second. Content came later. As far as Activision and Bungie were concerned then, they wanted you to buy things from the Eververse before they cared about whether you're actually having fun in the game. This was a team who created Halo, but they were nowhere to be seen. It appeared to the average gamer that this new Bungie, just like every AAA publisher out there, has stopped seeing gamers as just gamers, and instead barely sentient cash wallets to be exploited. However, something changed around the tail end of 2018. Forsaken dropped into the gaming community like a Mario star, suddenly revitalizing the franchise and showing the Bungie of old. In perhaps the most surprising and ballsy move of all, Bungie killed off their most popular character, Cade 6, and the death did not feel cheap either. The story of Forsaken, the weapons, direction, and tone completely changed from everything before it. Forsaken sent a clear message to gamers: we are Bungie. We have not forgotten how to make art. Trust us and give us one more chance. I would say this was quite effective, as everyone from Jim Sterling to Layman Gaming praised Destiny post Forsaken, despite damn near tearing the game to shreds at previous reviews. Then Satan, Activision, released a statement that Forsaken sales were disappointing. Not only that, but they also said the best way to fix this was to, increase microtransactions. Like hell, you cannot make this up. Satan is Satan and Satan is Activision. That's just the truth. Well, Bungie, for that part, immediately released a statement through its director Luke Smith, stating, "We are not disappointed with Forsaken. We set out to build a game that Destiny players would love, and at Bungie, we love it too. Building Destiny for players who love it is and always will remain our focus going forward." This might all be corporate speak, but what I love here is the fact that he was able to realize that they had not been building Destiny for the players previously, right? Now he's realizing that, yeah, from this point on, I want to focus on the players. You know, as a company, Bungie wants to focus on the players. Let the players enjoy the game first before we think about how to gain some money back from them, you know. I mean, it might be corporate speech, it might just be smoke screen, but I liked the sentiment in the post, you know. I like that sentiment. It's rare in the gaming industry these days, which is all about telling players that they don't know anything nowadays. You know, every developer out there is hitting out at gamers that we don't know anything, you know. So it's actually nice to see a developer really, you know, defending gamers for once. Personally, I believe this is where the chinks in Activision's armor began to show. I think Bungie clearly looked at the players' reception of Forsaken and knew that any further monetization would instantly shatter the goodwill they had just bought back. This might have been the point where they went, you know what, you need me, but I don't need you. Yeah, that was bad. That was terrible. And this is what you get. This is what you get for YouTube copyright strike. You know, I can't put Ed Sheeran's song in there. So, yeah, you deal with my shitty singing. So anyway, moving on. Bungie is single now. They're in the process of finalizing the divorce papers and have secured the rights to their child, Disney. All this has led me to question something that, you know, most people don't ask these days. Why do we even need gaming publishers? I mean, think about it. In the wake of Bungie's divorce, some people have come out to point things that Bungie might lose now that they are no longer with Activision. Respected games journalist Jason Schreier, the man who blew the lead on this whole story, he has something to say about the entire thing. He says, most, if not all, of Destiny's mistakes came from Bungie, not the publisher. And self-publishing a game is really effing hard. Well, personally, I don't agree with that, because most of the things that made Destiny hard, Destiny not as good as it should have been, was the push to have it monetized, you know. And because Activision wanted money, Bungie had to design the entire game around that concept, you know. You can't design a good game when your publisher says we want the most money. You have to make a game that can give them the most money. So I believe that even though Bungie did make some mistakes, a lot of blame still has to rest on Activision's shoulders, because that was the directive they were given. Now that Bungie has left Activision, we can see if, even without that direction, even without that pressure, Bungie will still choose the monetization route. But until we see that, I think it's safe to blame Activision for most of the monetization, because we see that is what they do in most of their products, you know. COD, they just sold a freaking dot to us for $1. So, you know, just patterns, you know, patterns. You gotta follow the patterns. So it goes on to say, Bungie now has to handle many of the business aspects of game development that Activision was handling before. He mentions PR, marketing, business development, distribution, and he says Bungie has been through this before. Remember when it split from Microsoft in 2007? Things weren't so rosy in the years after that, you know? Now, say what you will about Jason Schreier. Lord Gabin knows I do not agree with a lot of his personal opinions about the gaming industry, you know. But the man is an excellent journalist. I mean, you cannot deny that. So I decided to look at his points and tackle them one by one, you know. First, I'm taking PR. PR, if you don't know, stands for public relations in any business setting. The public relation basically deals with, you know, talking to the public, to your customers, letting them know your direction, answering feedback, you know, just basically communication with the rest of the world, you know, putting out your ideas to the rest of the world. That's what PR is. Now, in my respect, Bungie is actually better off with that Activision PR team, because the Bungie team recently at least has said all the right things to the community, compared to Activision, who has basically taken a stance of gamers are wrong and we need to milk as much money as possible from gamers. And they aren't even hiding it, you know. They said Forsaken didn't sell well, and the only way to fix that is to monetize the game more. I mean, that was from Activision right there, you know. So personally, in my opinion, Bungie, their PR team, would be much better served without Activision breathing down their neck, because they might actually be able to speak some truth about the company they weren't able to before. Because one thing about having a publisher above you is there's some things you can't say, even if you do not like the current, let's say, monetization model, you can't say you don't like it. You can't say you don't want to do it because you have someone over you. That kind of oversight, So I believe Bungie is better off with their own PR team. The next, marketing. Now I believe this is where publishers hold a massive advantage, right? Because publishers, they have a lot of spare change to fund massive multi-million dollar campaigns, But I need you all to ask yourselves this, in this age of YouTube and the internet, as wide and expansive and close as we are together, do we really need those campaigns anymore? Are they really necessary? No. A couple of YouTube ads and just word of mouth has proved to be enough countless times for companies that do not seek to earn all the money in the world. Now, I want to make a clear, distinct difference between companies who just want to earn a good amount of profit and companies who want to earn all the money in the world, because there's a very huge difference between the two, okay? If you just want to earn a good amount of profit, let's say you invest, let me keep the values low to give an idea. Let's say you invest $100 in something. If you just want to earn a good amount of profit, something like $1,000 or $2,000 would be a good return, to be a very lucrative return, right? But if you're out to earn all the money in the world, you're looking for maybe $100,000 from $100. If you do not get $100,000, you're not satisfied, right? So that's the difference between the two of them, in my opinion. So now, I wanted to look at success stories like Undertale, Paper Please, Warframe, and just recently Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. All these games from different ranges of developers, some single developers, some a little bit bigger, some low tier, some mid tier. All these games just had a few ads on YouTube and mostly spread through word of mouth, Someone picked up Warframe and was like, yo, this game is dope. You need to play this game. And some people streamed it on Twitch, streamed it on YouTube, and those guys told their friends, and their friends told their friends. And the community grew to what it was. Same with Undertale. Undertale grew basically through word of mouth. Paper Please, the same thing. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice only had a YouTube page. That was it. They just put up a YouTube page. I think it probably had a few ads on YouTube. That was it. There was no Tortillas branding. There's nothing. And they made a lot. I mean, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice sold 1 million copies, through online only, right? Because they didn't have the funds to go through physical copies. They just sold online only, and they sold 1 million copies. That is a lot for a small developer team. That is a lot of money, right? Without shareholders seeking endless growth on their necks, I believe Bungie should be able to make more than a tidy profit even with decreased marketing. Because right now, Destiny is a household name. Everyone is seeking out when's the next Destiny going to come out, What's the next update on Destiny? If you have a Destiny game in your home right now, you are going to look up on YouTube or Google at some point in the future to see if anything has come up on Destiny, It doesn't matter if you don't see it on your TV. You're just going to check, just out of curiosity, like, is there any news? Is there anything I'm missing to download? Am I meant to download anything recently, So, in terms of marketing, a company as big as Bungie doesn't really need a publisher at this point. Personally, I don't think so, And they already have the brand. The brand name is already out there. It's like Coca-Cola. The name is, they're already at the homes. So, yeah, I don't think they need the marketing as badly as they would have probably if they were just starting out. So, I think they're good on that front. For business development, personally, I have no clue what this means. Somehow, it just sounds like evil companies speak for increased yearly revenue, But I may be wrong, and it's just improved business practices, just how do you earn money the right way, business ethics in the business place, relations with other companies, those kind of things, developing your business, it might just be that. And if that's the case, there's no way you can convince me that a company as large as Bungie can get someone to come in and oversee that, CFOs are a dime a dozen these days. They're all jumping from one company to another, so you can definitely get one to come and look over your account. I mean, YouTubers these days have people who help them develop their businesses, So you can't tell me a company like Bungie can't do that. That is inane, And finally, we have distribution. Now, this too is one of the publisher's greatest strength, right up there in marketing, because creating physical copies for a game isn't the hard part, bringing out CDs, that's not where the money really is. That's easy. The hard part is ensuring it makes its way to shelves all around the world. You have to make sure that it ends up at GameStop somehow in Canada, Asia, whatever your local game store is. You have to make sure that the games end up there. And things like this, distribution channels slowly built up over years in the gaming industry. It's not easy to just start up and get those channels. They cost money, they're expensive, and small developers definitely will not have the funds to spread their physical copies all around the world, But this too, I believe, is a problem of the past because of the recent trend towards digital sales. If you check any chart these days, almost everyone is moving towards digital sales, People are buying more digitally than they are buying them, physically. So, and also, like I said before, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, a game with minimal advertisement from Ninja Theory, who was independent at the time. They've been bought by Microsoft now. They sold over 1 million copies, and that was through online only, which is a massive success for a company as small as that, a small developer team. They did that with just a little amount of ads and online. They didn't need the physical copies, okay? This is a company that just wants very good, tidy profit on their investment, And I mean, for someone like Activision, that's definitely not enough because they want all the money in the world. But for a small developer, I believe, start online. Start your business online. Grow yourself online. And then when you're big enough, you can start selling your things, through physical means, But that's just me, I mean, I'm just a guy on YouTube. You guys have your own ways of doing things, so you can do things your way. But a developer like Bungie has an advantage because of how high they are and how much money they have. They can go the CD Projekt Red route and basically create their own channels over time, They may not be worldwide at first. They may start at Europe only, or maybe Europe, Asia, and North America, and slowly, build their influence, widen their influence, so that their products can reach more shelves, Doesn't have to. You don't have to conquer the world in the beginning, Start slowly. CD Projekt Red didn't get to where they are now by outselling their products everywhere. In the beginning, I'm pretty sure it was very hard for them to even sell outside of Poland, But they slowly built up their brand, and eventually now they're one of the biggest independent developers / publisher, because they publish their own game now in the world. So yes, in my opinion, the gaming industry does not need publishers. They are relics of the past, and I can't wait to watch the crash of scummy, greedy major AAA publishers like EA and Activision. So if you join me and point your ace of spades into the sky and fire off a round for Cade 6, who died so Bungie may leave, I'll be very glad. Who knows, I just might purchase Destiny 2 after all of this. But I'm gonna wait a bit, test the waters, see if Bungie has truly changed. And then I might get it. And maybe the next Destiny video will actually have a Destiny footage under it. Praise be. See you very soon. Love, Rain away.